Hello and welcome to Leica Review. Today we are reviewing the new Leica M10 camera and looking at its current image sensor technology. As you may already know, Leica M10 was announced just over a week ago, hailed as the new Leica rangefinder camera. Of course, with the launch, there were reviewers claiming that the new Leica M10 camera offered improved image quality and low light performance. Today, we want to take a closer look at Leica M10 sensor technology and see if the new camera actually offers any improvements from the earlier version Leica M240. But before we talk about the recently announced Leica M10's sensor technology, it's important to point out the trade-off that every camera manufacturer must make in their choice of image sensors. As you may know, the size of a full-frame CMOS sensor can hold smaller size pixels, which increases the pixel count of the sensor, hence enhancing the image sensor's ability to capture more detail in the images. But this comes as a trade-off, because the pixels get smaller and smaller in size, and their ability to perform under low light circumstances also decreases. On the other hand, the size of the pixel can be large, which makes the sensor more receptive to light, improving the camera's low light performance. But as a trade-off, capturing details in images must be given up. To better understand this trade-off, let's examine two flagship cameras from Nikon and Canon. Nikon offers D5 as their top-of-the-line camera, and Canon has 1DX Mark II. These two cameras have 20.8 and 20.2 megapixel sensors. As you might notice, these numbers are much lower than Leica M10's 24 megapixel sensor. Yet, these two camera giants also offer 36 and 50 megapixel sensors in their lineup of cameras, but they have chosen not to push their flagship camera's pixel count high. And the reason behind this choice is the fact they want their cameras to perform well under low light situations. Now let's look at another example, Sony A7 Mark II, which is designed mostly for use by videographers, featuring only 12.2 megapixel full-frame sensor. In this case, Sony knew from the very start that the low light performance was crucial for filming applications and chose to have larger pixels to make their camera's sensor more receptive to light. But they could have chosen to put a 42 megapixel sensor like they did in their Sony A7R Mark II, which looks identical to Sony A7S II. But they didn't, because they knew the trade-off that happens when better low light performance is demanded from camera sensor, which means that the number of pixels must be reduced and the pixel size must be larger. What I'm pointing at here is that each camera manufacturer knows and understands this trade-off between pixel count and low light performance. In other words, if you can't have better low light performance if the larger pixels are not there and the pixel count is not reduced. This is the current CMOS technology. Now let's have a closer look at Leica M10 and the previous version Leica M240. Leica M10 and Leica M240 both have the same number of pixels in their count, so 24 megapixels. They both have the same size sensor, they both are CMOS sensors, so what we see is that they are both identical in every way. Yet, when Leica M10 camera was announced, there were reviewers saying that the new Leica M10 offered 2-stop advantage over the Leica M240, and another one claimed that there was a 1.5-stop advantage. But when we look at the specs, we see that there were no changes in the pixel count. They are both CMOS type sensors. They are the same full-size frame. So if nothing has changed in terms of pixel count and the dimension of the sensor, then the performance of Leica M10 would remain the same as Leica M240, unless, of course, some significant technological breakthroughs were achieved with Leica M10's CMOS sensor. So let's look at Leica M10's image sensor from the point of technological innovation. If you look at and examine the advancements in the camera sensor technology, you can see that the changes in low light performance and image quality are achieved in small increments. For example, if you compare Leica M9, which has CCD type sensor, and the later model Leica M240, which featured CMOS type sensor, we see that improvement in low light performance. Now, CMOS sensors which are used in Leica M240 are used in almost all modern cameras. Of course, the technological limitations are well known by camera manufacturers, and within these boundaries, different camera companies offer a number of products for their customers. So in order for a CMOS sensor to offer better image quality or higher low light performance, a major breakthrough in sensor technology is necessary. The question we like to ask is, could CMOS sensor used in Leica M10 has any major breakthroughs in image sensor technology? So let's do a little analysis. If you look at all the camera manufacturers in the world today, there are only two kinds. One that develops their own image sensors, and the ones that buy sensors from other manufacturers. So what this means is that at the camera companies that produce their own image sensors and develop their own image sensors can have the technology which later on they sell to other companies, or they have these companies that don't produce their own image sensors and must buy their sensors from a handful of image sensor producers in the world. Leica camera is one of them. They don't produce their own sensors, they buy them. In other words, what we can say is Leica camera, regardless of the parts they use in their cameras, must purchase their image sensors from a third party. This means that Leica camera must rely on the image sensor technology of their supplier. And even if they are working together with the sensor manufacturer, they are still relying on the technology that the image sensor manufacturer has. Which brings me to the next point. Developing and manufacturing an image sensor technology is a very expensive and costly process, which of course means that the new technology must be safeguarded against copyright infringements through patent filings. For example, companies like Sony, which produces their own sensors, files patents to protect their sensor technology. So looking at Leica cameras, we know that in the past they had worked with Belgian company that produces image sensors called CMOSes based in Antwerp, Belgium. We also know that 24 megapixel used in Leica M240 is a CMOS sensor produced by CMOSes. So for Leica M10 camera to have a significant improvement in either low light performance or image quality than the M240, the CMOS image sensor technology must be improved. Of course, we did our research and found no recent patent filings by either CMOSes or Leica camera for a new image sensor technology. Then the question that begs to be answered is, if Leica M240 and Leica M10 cameras both have CMOS sensors of the same number of pixels, then how can the new camera perform better in low light situations than the Leica M240 or offer higher image quality? Or let's ask this question another way. If this image sensor technology has not improved, how can the low light performance or the image quality can improve? The answer, it cannot. So while we'll be seeing some major improvements and breakthroughs in technology in image sensors, so let's now look at some really important developments in image sensor technology that has patent filings. Soon, a new generation of cameras will be coming out, and they will be announced shortly, that can offer much improved low light performance and image quality. And in order to achieve this, one image sensor developer, Sony, thought outside the boundaries of the current technology. Image sensors, like the ones used on Leica M10, have technologies based on RGB type sensors, which simply stands for red, green, and blue. Which of these CMOS sensors, these are the technology they use. What Sony will soon be offering is an RGBW type sensor, and that is estimated to produce 32% higher image quality, along with 78% improvement in low light performance. What this means is that Sony cameras will have the next generation of high performance CMOS sensors. Again, it's important to point out this fact. A major technological breakthrough in image sensor technology is the only way to achieve higher low light performance than the current CMOS technology. This we will see in the new generation of cameras coming out, and not the ones that rely on older CMOS technology. Of course, there is also another important point which we should talk about in this review. One of the ways to improve image quality is to have a bigger sensor. This is why professionals use medium format cameras in their work. For example, Leica camera offers their top-of-the-line Leica S cameras for professionals. These medium format cameras are very expensive and mostly reserved for professionals. But that is all about to change very soon. How, you might ask? As you may know, there are medium format cameras that are being released by companies like Pentax and Fujifilm. And as technology moves forward and more companies are able to offer cameras with larger image sensors, the market gets bigger for people to be able to purchase these cameras. And this is mostly due to lower production costs, resulting in more people being able to have access to high quality medium format cameras at lower prices. One good example is the Hasselblad's X1D50C medium format camera, which offers medium format quality in a mirrorless camera format that's both compact and lightweight, and it weighs only 725 grams, which is very close to Leica M10's 660 grams, yet the Leica, compared to Hasselblad, the Hasselblad offers medium format image sensor quality. If we examine Hasselblad's mirrorless camera or the new Fuji GFX film camera, you see that their dimensions and weight are very close to Leica M10 for a very reasonable price. And as I mentioned earlier, the cost of medium format cameras are coming down fast. And you might ask, how fast? Let me give you an example. The new Fuji GFX medium format camera still costs less than Leica M10, and it comes with a full HD recording capability, which the new Leica camera doesn't have. So what we should take from this review is that there are many options out there for cameras that offer high quality images, and it might be worthwhile to cross-compare them to make a better decision on your next camera purchase. And we hope you found this review to be informative, and we look forward to bringing you more reviews on cameras and lenses every week. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive our updates, and you can also visit our website at leicareview.com to sign up to our newsletter and to read our in-depth articles on cameras and lenses. And we thank you for watching.